Seems like things are going well so far.
I think it's tough, right? You know, we kind of like hinted at this a tiny bit at the top of the show, but when you're looking around all these names, man, there's just so much talent here in Europe that have made it to the finals. So it's just like trying to predict, like, okay, well, I know this duo does really well, and at this stage of the competition they were great, but now this other duo that we haven't seen because they qualified super early on is now going head-to-head with them. Like, we don't have data on that quite yet, right? Like, it's just so tough when there's so many good teams. It's basically impossible to predict, and yeah. Of course, Game 12 tomorrow is going to be like, oh, it all comes down to the final moments, Zeke. Classic Zeke, always coming down those final moments of the last game. And I'm like, yeah, I'm aware. Like, it's just Fortnite. That's how it be. Expectations going into the next game. Do we think, I guess, some of these issues may be resolved going into Game 2? Is it going to take a little bit longer to get going? What do you guys expect?
Yeah, it's tough to say, right? A lot of the big names, we saw them all going down. Aqua going down very early, you know, getting held out in Storm there. Something that you wouldn't really expect too often, right? You know, Aqua, you know, one of the most experienced players all the way from, you know, coming from World Cup side. And the first game just wasn't there yet. Just take a look at the replay here. You know, Noah and Aqua so late on this rotation and unfortunately not working out for them. A little bit painful to see. You also saw names like Queasy, unfortunately for Reese, you know, his big favorite there, them going down. And that sort of opened up the gates just a little bit for Pink and Nas. And you know, we were watching the game before and we thought, wow, this is going to be game number 1, a win for Pink and Nas because there's no high ground teams left.
Yeah, and you know, we set that up at the top of the show. We talked about the fact that there's so many good height teams in the lobby, and I think honestly, like, you know, obviously Pink and Ass being number, I don't want to say number 2 because I feel like Queasy and Hen are number 1. We're highlighting them, talking about how good they are. I don't want to say they're number 2 at the same time, but you know, from them there are so many teams who have that potential to be up there, and this was like a classic play by them, right? This is the timing that we nearly always see from Anas and Pink. It's that second moving zone. It's when the high ground teams have held it from the first moving, maybe even earlier in fifth zone, are starting to run dry on match. It's really hard to get refreshed early on, and they went up for it. They tried for it at that point in time, like they normally do when they pick up a bunch of victory royales, but this time, you know, the height team was just a little bit too strong at that moment, and we obviously were able to see Janice and Vortex capitalize on the fact that that was just a little bit of a mess. So I'm sure we're going to see a bunch of mind games going on at the same time. The first team to try and retake it, potentially messing up, and then we're going to see other teams pick up that victory royale by able to capitalize on what will be a messy high ground.
It was, yeah, man, and we're gonna keep seeing this, right, Reese? I mean, this is what happens once again. You put the very best in these lobbies, and it's not. Why? You know who we are. Why? No. Go back on down there. We'll see you at the end of the game, you know. But that's it from us for now here on the analyst desk. We got more games ready for you, so we're kicking back over. We got Shy Wager and 11-2K standing by.
Thanks so much, Zeke, Boop, Reese. I mean, I think game 1 full of surprises overall, 11, and I agree with a lot that you know the desk had to say. With Janice and Vortex rolling in and being the leaders of the pack, how does that change things for EU?
I don't know if it necessarily does, just because I really think this is a slept-on team, right? In terms of the way they interact with everybody, you know, they've got Greasy uncontested, right, which is very nice for them. But I expect these guys to continue to have a couple really, really good games where they do sort of show people, look, if you guys leave height vacant, we will be able to take it and step up, right? They are definitely a competent team there. Vortex, one of the most exciting talents in EU right now. He has all the firepower you could possibly ask for, paired with Janice's experience and, you know, intelligence. Definitely a top duo.
Yeah, the mid is drin.
I'm kind of close to home for them overall to be able to save a few mats, gain some control. I feel like, you know, if it does go their way again, they might win it out. But that is all to be said. Game 2 is right underway.
Der wo tanzt oder versneakt?
Du bestimmt. Okay.
So jetzt.
Game number 1 was fun. Game number 2 about to be even better. We saw so much going on off spawn. A couple of the bigger favorites though didn't necessarily win it out how we would have expected, and we're hopping in right with one of them.
Hi.
At least in the first part of this chapter, they were considered one of the more exciting duos to watch. They were winning a bunch of events, dominating everybody mechanically at the very least. And so here up against Schmecky and Tyson, can they make this one a better game than their first? They have the shield advantage for now, but they just need to connect with the shots.
Tyson trying, I feel like the key to this last time was immediate pressure. And it was just a fast pitch from the side of Tyson and Schmecky. This time might be a bit slower. 2 games of a hindrance might not be too much in a 12-game format overall. You got to remember, you know, different thresholds for pricing overall. You're not trying to qualify for something now. You're just trying to have a very good, consistent performance. That being said, Might not want to leave everything up to chance and go 2 games down. Usually Mustache Malabuka very slow at switching up their playstyle, but they're getting mighty aggressive. Tazi has to just overbuild and overcommit to all his mats. And my man Malabuka is just a go for hopping in the air. Frog-like motions on this roof, and he finds so many shots. Mustache also wins on his own on the top side, and that is a nice reversal, a quick wrap-up to an early game fight.
Yeah, it wasn't just the loot advantage that they had, right, in terms of the shield. They also had shotguns, whereas you saw Tyson there, he only had the...
Was ist?
Against Malabuka Mustashu, no slouches mechanically. You want to have everything in your favor, especially going against them. And so they will go down, like you said, the reverse. We'll see how it plays out here over at Sleepy, though. Chapix and City, we saw Chapix going down relatively early last game. Avino and Joe ain't just got to worry about Chapix on the hill that's going to be popping off some shots. So this one might last a while. 2 teams who very top players, Shayo, but Sleepy Sound isn't going to be the kind of POI you want to be sharing in the finals. You want to have it all to yourself.
Too many angles to track down. T-Chip's art skill. Talk about an angle side, a lower bridge here. Then we're looking for a few shots. T-Chips is all in and not blocking his backside at all. Goes up into the open again. This is going to be even tougher. I've never seen this spot. My man is trapped down in his 3 duos trying to operate and shoot the shot down here. I'm not sure exactly what Artskill's doing either, but he's in the air. Loot rain's down. It's Pablo and Swag who are clasping on this fight. Other duo rolls in and just jumps away using those spider webs. Merza and Lizen are the ones now who are on the back foot.
Yeah, that's really interesting, right? Because Merza and Lizen, I don't think many people would have expected them to be in this area of the map, right? In terms of, you know, understanding who's going to be dropping in where. And this makes this part of the map a very interesting dynamic, right? Art, Skill, and T-Chips were very exciting to watch during the qualifying process, but if they have now another duo to do, Swag and Pablo will be loving that, right? Because they can just come in, get their tags, you know, really sneak an elimination like they did here as well. So the Flames boys going to be an interesting duo to watch out for if they can deal with their surge early. That's going to be really nice for them.
Yeah, those Flames boys, Pablo, Swag, when they were rolling in on their day, I mean, fully contested 6 out of 6 games still in that top 6. It looked so good. Benji and Savage, off spawn. God, I feel like they just never end up fully getting broken down in this spot. And Benji also just doesn't care. He's just dropping down for the fight solo, picking things up.
Yeah, and this is one thing that I won't understand, right? Bad Sniper, DKS, Bad Sniper in particular, you know, a veteran of the scene, he's been around and he constantly will make it to FNCS finals, but he doesn't have a history of doing particularly well there. And I don't see why you'd want to contest Benji and Savage when, in my opinion, Benji and Savage have been one of the best teams, you know, in terms of fighting at Tilted Towers all season long, right? It's not like today they just rolled up and now they're, you know, a super team. No, these guys have been dominating at Tilted. I really wonder what the plan will be for Bad Sniper and DKS, because if they're going to just keep on fighting here every game, I wouldn't be surprised to see them, you know, near the 50 mark. You know what I'm saying? 45 and up, if you get what I mean. So we'll see how that develops throughout the rest of the games.
Might have a chance at, you know, maybe chaos happening at Tilted, or maybe they're the ones waiting for the day 2 type of play, analyzing all the mistakes they make on day number 1. That being said, yeah, Lazy Lake, Tilted, anything that's remotely, you know, metropolitan has not gone very well for Bad Sniper at all. That being said, Chapix still getting bullied down by Vino. Looks like this man is the operating factor inside this fight, always engaging, always making sure the pressure is hot.